I've told that story 1,000 times.
Look, another
I've had
one.
enough of flying with
You
it.
let one human in and in no time you've got a swarm.
What would be
ants
unusual?
I
won't
heard
trick me into
human
buying
women
you
need
around.
only...
Slug him between the eyes!
Don't try anything.
Can we go? I can't wait to meet this monstrous beauty.
Her beauty's killed several men.
Now you tell me.
Like my friend Dandelion says, we all have to die of something. I'll have my eye on you at all times.
So will she.
Don't let her kiss you.
I don't usually deny women foreplay, but I'll do my best.
Let's do this.
Well, how should we begin? If our bodies could a song compose, we'd admire our virtues, me yours and you mine. I could pet your cheeks. You might twiddle my nose. Or grasp me elsewhere and leave me satisfied. No, that didn't come out right. If you wish, my love, at my side to repose, my heart would inquire of your hands pale and fine, if they'd grasp it gently to hold like a rose. Or grasp me elsewhere and leave me satisfied. No, that didn't come out right. If you wish, my love, at my side to repose, we'd admire our virtues, me yours and you mine. I could pet your cheeks. You might twiddle my nose. Or treat it as a morsel upon which to dine. No, that didn't come out right. Pearls before swine, I swear. I'll tell you one thing, Geralt. That succubus knows true art about as well as Zoltan knows table manners.
Guess they'll never learn. We killed
Most.
I'd like to play dice.
Beat the innkeeper, and I'll take you on with pleasure.
So be it. How are things?
Everyone,
How long? This.
See you, Governor.
Greetings. Okay.
Hello, Witcher.
Don't try anything.
Hello, Witcher.
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
At the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. Did you notice? Not all the ghosts were aggressive.
Yes. Most just disappeared when they touched the aura of a living person.
I think the curse corrupts the ghosts of the fallen and turns them into draugrs.
Is that the Witcher's professional name for wraiths?
Draugrs are demons of war. They arise at sites of exceptionally vicious, bloody battles. Their bloodlust and hatred in condensed form.
Can you kill them by conventional means?
A silver sword is enough for a draugr, but as long as the curse remains active, new ones will arise. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If I could turn the tide of the battle...
For that you'll need symbols of war belonging to those who fell in battle. Hatred, death, courage, and faith. All artifacts must be magically active and connected to the fallen, or they won't lure the ghosts.
Right. I'll look around.
Finding two will be enough. Get the symbols of hatred and death and leave the rest to me.
I'd prefer courage and faith.
Don't fuss.
I'll see what I can do. Cecil seems to know a lot about the area. Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
What about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, hence the curse's other name. Sabrina Glevizig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodalega.
Exactly.
What happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt attacked Edirn, but met his match. Nobody won that war. Sabrina Glefisig got into a conflict with the commander-in-chief of the Kedweni forces, and this led to both armies being routed. Fireballs turned the battlefield into a flaming tomb. Henselt accused Sabrina of using a forbidden weapon.
And Sabrina cursed Henselt.
I think so. I suspect the curse got out of hand because of the circumstances.
Circumstances? The stars weren't right, wrong phase of the moon. There's always an excuse for simple bungling.
She placed the curse while burning at the stake. Her hands and feet nailed to a wagon wheel. I'd say she did a good job, considering.
Can Francesca's experience help us?
Certainly. I know the symbols and the workings of the curse thanks to her.
Care to explain? I'm the one risking my neck.
You'll have to relive the battle and change its course at the right moment. I don't know exactly what will happen. Nobody does.
I'll look for those artifacts. I'm good for now. I'll let you know when I learn something.
You wanted to discuss something?
I'm looking for Triss. Letho forced her to teleport near Vergen.
Letho?
Voltest's killer, perhaps Demavend's too. Will you help me find her?
Certainly. We sorceresses must stick together. We have too many enemies.
Triss contacted you through Sheila de Tanzerville's megascope while in Flotsam.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Can you locate her?
A megascope responds to a person's aura. If I had something of hers, I could find her. You were close to her. Maybe you have something.
I've got Triss's bandana.
Have you learned anything?
Triss was here. Letho forced her to teleport.
Why would he? There are easier ways to travel.
2 of Letho's comrades, probably those responsible for Demavend's death, were hiding among the Scoia'tael. When it became evident in Flotsam that the Kingslayer wanted to dispose of Yorvith, the Scoia'tael leader gave the order to eliminate them. Letho had to reach the unit before the Elven messengers did. He could only do that by teleporting.
I assumed that Triss wanted to teleport to me, but she missed the mark and they ended up in the gullies. What happened next?
Letho left her in a gully, wounded. He probably thought that she'd diversify the local trolls' diet. He himself went to see the elves and massacred the unit with his comrades. They're somewhere on the other side of the fog.
What about Triss?
She escaped from the troll. Everything suggests she's somewhere in the area.
I can assure you she is not in Vergen.
She has to be here. Locate her.
I'll try, but it will take some time. Have you learned anything else?
Sheila ordered Letho and Triss killed.
I can't believe that.
Believe it. I ran into some mercenaries she enlisted to kill Letho and anyone found with him.
She must have meant the other Kingslayers. Are you sure she knew Triss was with him?
Are you so sure of Sheila? There was something going on between her and Triss. I sensed a lot of tension.
A misunderstanding.
Maybe. Let's find Triss and clear everything up.
I need some time. What's going on out there?
Let's see.
What's going on?
The peasants want to take pitchforks to King Demavend's son.
Why?
The Dragonslayer's servant is spreading rumors that Stennis poisoned Saskia. The commoners are in an uproar. They want to dispense justice.
Where's the prince?
Barricaded himself in his room, guarded by nobles. For the moment, the peasants are still respectful, but they are feverish. A fight is inevitable. Help us out. The situation is dire. I'm going to inform the other nobles.
Dogs growl at cats. Cats hiss at the dogs. A noble's a wolf to a peasant.
Forget those animalistic similes and take care of it. I'll try to locate Triss. And should anything happen to Prince Stennis, remember, we need his blood.
I remember.
You wanted to discuss something?
I found an immortelle.
Excellent. You wanted to
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him.
say she's dead.
You're stupid. She just fell unconscious.
The commoners claim it's our princess.
Sirs and lords will...
Geralt! It's good to see you.
The commoners claim Stennis is involved in Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
Nobody to keep things peaceful?
Scalen Burden and his dwarves are trying to contain the mob, but they're badly outnumbered.
The plebs will yell a lot, beat someone up, and go home. As peasants do.
That would be foolish. They're not serfs anymore. The days of them humbly sowing and reaping are gone.
Looks like things are getting nasty.
Hear me!
What do you want?
I'm Scalen Burden. I keep order in Vergen.
Or doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails!
Stop!
Yorvith.
Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons! I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olcan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Colton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Scoia'tael keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off! We need to act quickly.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure.
Humans only care how their asses rise as their stations do.
They're playing into Henselt's hands. If they start at each other's throats, we'll have to face the entire amount of Kaedwen alone.
Say,
Witcher,
come over here. Mix water with fire.
This is nonsense.
Saskia
What would the
could.
prince gain with the
And you
virgin's
see what they
death?
did to her?
I could tell you what he lost with her life.
Say,
Power.
Witcher, come over here.
As I see it, every princeling likes to scheme.
Guilt must be proven. Otherwise,
Say,
it's
Witcher,
vigilante
come over
justice.
Give us this hornplower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You will change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
Give us this hornplower!
Saskia's on the pier.
Rolling dung, you surly
Wraiths full
dog!
of mist and commoners and nobles
Change your
are at each
tone
other's
when we
throats.
put a...
Lovely.
Say,
Why
Witcher,
is he
come over
lingering
here.
about? Like the stench in it.
What's it
We...
Kill him.
We... It's...
Then we...
And all...
And then...
We have enough...
Don't wait!
You know Saskia's servant? Farewell.
Give
This
us
is
this
nonsense.
hornflower!
What would the prince gain with the
Rolling
virgin's
dung,
death?
you surly
I could
dog!
tell you what he lost with her life.
Change your tone when we put a sickle
As I
to
see
your
it, every
throat.
princeling likes to
Save
scheme.
your threats
Say,
for
Guilt
your
must be
come over here.
hog-smelling woman.
Otherwise, it's vigilante justice.
I'll grant you that.
What do you want?
We of noble birth always had to protect the plebs from their own stupidity. If not for us, the world...
I don't have time to listen to songs praising the nobility. Know anything about the attempt on Saskia's life?
No, I don't. But whatever the truth, the mob cannot lynch one of royal blood.
So truth means nothing to you. That's what makes us different.
I didn't say I don't care about truth. Just keep in mind there's a world order that mustn't be destroyed.
An order that allows injustice.
If the prince turns out to be involved in this attempted murder, he should face a tribunal. The rabble doesn't understand the principles ruling the world.
Or they do understand them and simply don't like them.
Saskia is a wise woman, but there's one thing she doesn't take into consideration. This war will be over one day. Who will sow the crops and milk the cows then? Saskia called the serfs to arms. Do you think they'll want to plough fields again?
You may be right, but it's certainly not my business who'll plough your fields. Farewell.
Give us this horse-plower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You will change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your threats for your hog-smelling wo—
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a door.
Those witchers be craving gold.
He'd better search for a lad who served the Virgin instead.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets.
Farewell.
Give us this horse-plower!
The world order,
Rolling
Witcher.
dung,
Keep it in
you
mind.
Surly dog! You will change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
Henselt couldn't possibly reach Vergen.
Doesn't he have sorcerers at his court? Or perhaps he hired a witcher to break through. There's no other explanation.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
Saskia's on the pier with Henselt.
I'd gladly hear your...
Finally, it's...
The local peasants love Saskia.
Those surly dogs would gleefully accept a heavy pouch. Show me a serf with any sense of honor.
That's interesting.
Just think it. Then...
Something.
Give us this whole...
I'd glad...
It's...
That's interesting.
Just think it through. Then...
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You will change your...
I'd gladly hear...
It's...
That... Something.
Save your threats for your
Otherwise,
hogs.
it's vigilante justice.
Why is he linked?
Those... Yeah, what...
Farewell.
I'll grant you that, Reinster.
Why...
Farewell.
Give us this horse-plower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You will change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your threats for your...
Things look bad. The peasants are furious. They finally have a chance to strike back for all their wrongs.
The noblemen won't yield.
They're a cowardly lot.
They know their heads will follow Stennis's.
It's a deadlock, with the prince's guilt still to be proven.
Yarpen says it's someone from Edern. Sheldon, on the other hand, would shave his beard if it's not Hensel's spies.
Anyone reached the prince in his chamber?
Not even close. The nobles guard him like a matron does her ward's hiney.
If the rabble slaughters the prince, there'll be no stopping them. They'll start doing things their own nasty way.
That's why the nobles will support the prince, even if they believe he's guilty.
I'm sure Stennis's hands are dirtier than a peasant girl's fucked in a barn.
Why would Sheldon suspect Henselt?
He'd sooner reach an agreement with Stennis than Saskia. Her death would be very convenient.
Zoltan?
I'm wondering how anyone could manage to poison the wine. Saskia's a quick-witted lass. She doesn't let just anyone near. Someone she knew must have done it.
Has Yarpen got any evidence?
No, Yarpen's an old cook and says he's got a feeling. Ploughing soothsayer.
He might be right with those feelings. After all, not just anyone can pass through the Wraith's mist. It has to be someone local.
So it never crossed your mind that Henselt might have sent someone here before those ghosts appeared?
Greetings, Gwynblade.
Anything changed?
Not really. The peasants keep hollering. The noblemen stubbornly guard their chieftain.
Humans only care how their asses rise as their stations do.
They're playing into
Give us this
Henselt's hands.
wallflower!
If they start at each
Rolling
other's
down,
throats,
you
we'll
silly
have the
dog.
entire amount of Kedwin
Wraiths
alone.
all the mist and commoners and
Can't
nobles
mix
are at each
water
other's
with
throats.
fire.
Saskia could.
This is nonsense.
And you see what they did to
Prince
her?
gained with the Virgin's death.
I could tell you what he lost with her life. Power. As I see it, every princeling likes to scheme.
Guilt must be proven. Otherwise, it's vigilante justice.
I'll grant you that, Rhymster.
Give us this hornflower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You'll change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
I'd gladly hear you.
Fuck. It's all.
That
Just then.
something.
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
If not for that damned
Humans only
Jorvik,
care
the
how their
serfs
asses
would
rise
probably
as
be
their
hanging
stations do.
princes.
They're playing
Wraiths
into
all the mist and
Henselt's
commoners
hands.
and
If
nobles
they
are at
start at
each
each
other's
other's throats, we'll have to face the entire amount of Kedwin alone. The prince has it coming, methinks.
Give us this hornflower!
Bloody bastard poisoned the
Rolling
virgin.
dung, you
I'd
surly...
gladly. Some.
You'll change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
The prince is only the beginning. Calton and his like won't respect anyone or anything.
Geralt!
Sure. Any.
But Sask,
It's a
nothing.
if
Even
the. Because. Your.
oh, he stood.
Vergen seems.
Give us this hornflower!
Rolling dung, you
Sask is on
surly
the beard,
dog!
penciled at the gates.
Change your
Wraiths
tone
fill the
when we
mist
put
and
a...
This is nonsense. What would the prince gain with the Virgin's death?
I could tell you what he lost with her life. Power. As I see it, every princeling likes to scheme.
Guilt must be proven. Otherwise, it's vigilante justice.
I'll grant you that, Rhymster.
Serfs and lords
You're
will
in
never
my
be on the
way.
same side.
Humans
Who
only
will the
care how
Witcher
their asses
side?
rise as their stations do.
They're playing
I heard. Shut your trap if you don't know what's going on.
The commoners claim.
Sask
If
is on
not
the
for
beard
that
with
damned
penciled at the
Jorvik,
gates.
the serfs would
Wraiths fill
probably
the
be
mist
hanging
and commoners and nobles
Give
are at
us
each
this
other's throats.
hornflower!
Rolling dung, you
This is
surly
nonsense.
dog!
What would the prince gain with the
Change
Virgin's
your
death?
tone when we
I
put a
could tell you
sickle
what he
to
lost
your
with her
throat.
life.
Save
Power.
your threats for your
As I see it, every
hog-smelling
princeling
woman.
likes
Give us this horsepower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You will change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat. Save your
Saskia's on the
threats
pier
for
with
your
Hansel at the
hog-smelling woman.
Wraiths from
The prince
mist
is
and
only the
commoners and
beginning.
nobles
Council
at
and
each
his
other's
like won't
throats.
respect anyone or anything.
Why?
Those... Yeah,
You know... Where's this...
Hide.
Farewell.
This is nonsense. What would the prince gain
Give
with the
us this
virgin's death?
horsepower!
I could tell you what he
rolling
lost with
dung,
a
you
life.
surly dog! You will
As I
change
see it,
your
every
tone
prince
when we
likes
put
to
a
see.
sickle to your throat.
Guilt must be proven.
Save your
Otherwise,
threats
it's
for your
vigilante justice.
hog-smelling woman.
I'll grant you that, Master.
Give us this horsepower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
Hurry up, Witcher!
Save your threats for
I'd
your...
gladly hear your opinion on the...
Fine.
That's it.
Saskia's on the pier with Hansel at the gate.
Serfs and lords will
Wraiths
never be
from
on the
mist
same
and
side.
Who
commoners
will
and
the
nobles
Witcher
at-
side?
Humans only care how their asses rise.
Maybe he has good
Prince gain with the virgin's death?
They say she is dead.
You're stupid. She just fell unconscious.
I heard.
Shut your trap if you don't know what's going on.
Who will the Witcher side with?
He's on very good terms.
They say someone cast a spell. And the Virgin fell.
Nobody'll
as if
believe
dead.
me anyway.
I've been looking for you.
I don't know you.
You caused quite a commotion. Afraid of something?
No, nothing.
You're lying.
I didn't do nothing. Didn't say nothing, don't know nothing, and didn't see nothing.
Tell me everything you know about the attempt on Saskia's life.
I heard the priest talking with the prince. This goody-goody said the Virgin is really a beast under her fair skin.
What priest?
Olcan, the one killed.
So there's no way I can check if you're lying.
I swear on my mother's grave, I speak the truth.
What else did you hear? Tell me.
I was putting Saskia's room in order when the priest came to the prince's chamber next door. They wasn't speaking loud, but I heard the priest say, "Just clear the servants from the kitchen." Nothing more. Reverend Olcan, only he could tell you how it was, beginning to end.
The dead aren't very talkative.
What about what they leave behind? There may be clues or some such.
Maybe.
What should I do? What should I do?
Could be. Sorcerers are a plague of the worst kind.
Who will the Witcher side with?
It's good to see someone's taking care of it.
Enough of this charade!
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her, he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the virgin sips it.
A good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stannis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanting to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stannis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene dumbhead the prince can, curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stannis could do it.
You're wrong, Colton. Reverend Olkin wanted to get rid of Saskia. He thought she was a monster at heart.
Olkin was on Stannis' leash like a dog.
How dare you, lout! Do you imagine if someone sits next to a married lady, he's surely fucking her?
The priest tried to convince Prince Stennis to join the conspiracy.
Is Stannis some dimwit foundling that he dances to a lousy priest's tune? Olcan got what he deserved when Henselt cleaved his head. Now it's Stannis' time.
There is no proof the prince agreed.
The priest asked him for admittance to the kitchen.
So he didn't poison the Virgin himself, but allowed her to be poisoned.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Eden? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Eden, can judge me. Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you? I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign!
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
The peasants are furious.
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
But they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure. And royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.